to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessie and I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. Today we are talking about the second budget for the month of December. So the budget for the paycheck my husband received on December 8th. We sat down together and did this budget last week. Now we're going to take a look at the spending for the week and see how closely I stuck to the budget. So, I have all my supplies here. I've got my deluxe monthly planner from Erin Condren. This is where I keep track of all of my transactions using a color coding system that I created for myself. The stickers here with the kind of Holly Berry holiday theme are from Caffeinated Kate, her printable shop. But all of the color-coded stickers that I use here I actually make for myself. And each of the colors represent a category of spending. And every day or two I take a look at my spending, my receipts, my transactions, and I put in everything based on the color coding system to help me keep track of where my money's going. So this is what I use this for. I also have my budget by paycheck workbook here where I actually write out my weekly budgets. You guys saw this budget last week. I have my calculator so I can do my calculating. I also have my favorite pens here from Parkoo. Black pen is going to be for if I stuck to my budget. Red pen if I went over budget. And I also have a gold pen this week. This one is from Erin Condren. We're going to put anything that we paid extra to debt in this gold color. So let's go ahead and take a look at the budget and the transactions. I also have my wallet here where I have my cash envelopes, so we can take a look at my cash envelopes and see if there's anything left in any of those. Anything that I have left over when I do my budget here, if I am under budget in any category, any money that I have left over is going to go towards an extra debt payment. So we're really hoping that I stuck to my budget and maybe was even under budget a little bit. So let's find out, shall we? So we are looking at all of the transactions for the week of December 8th through the 14th. So starting on Tuesday, since my husband gets paid on Tuesday, that's when our week starts. So everything all throughout this week, plus this day here, which is Monday, but no spending happened today on Monday, so that's exciting. So essentially we'll just be looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the week, and that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to start out with my grocery and household budget. Can you guys see? Hopefully you guys can see. I budgeted $75 this week for groceries. I didn't need to buy a ton of things. We are still pretty well stocked up in our freezer, but I needed to stock us up on, you know, produce and dairy items, a few snacks that my kids needed, that sort of thing. So I budgeted $75, and I went, of course, to Walmart to pick up my groceries. I love the Walmart grocery pickup. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk ad nauseum about it, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's just that good. You can go into the Walmart app, pick out all of your groceries. You can check out right from your app, and then you can choose pickup. Go to your local Walmart where you place the order. They will put the groceries into your car for you. You do not even have to get out of the car. They do not charge you anything extra for this service. If you're not using the Walmart pickup, you are doing yourself a disservice. I am able to stick to a super strict budget because I'm able to scroll my phone right from the comfort of my own home and add and take things away from my grocery order until I reach that budget. So, for example, this week, I knew I had a budget of $75. I spent $73.85. How awesome is that? So yeah, definitely recommend the Walmart grocery pickup. I do have a link down below. If you use my link and it's your first order, you can get $10 off. It's $10 off your first order of $50 or more through the Walmart pickup. Do yourself a favor and try it. Highly recommend it. So yeah, my grocery and household items are in this pink color. As you can see from my little key here, that was my only transaction for the week in groceries, and it was $73.85. So I'm under budget there. And actually, technically, I spent even less than this. This order included a bag of cat food for my mother-in-law. She doesn't drive, so a lot of times if she needs something from the store, I will just add it to my order. And then when I take it to her, she'll pay me for it. Works out really nicely for her, and it's no extra trouble for me, especially with the Walmart pickup. I mean, come on, it's just an extra click. This week, when I took her cat food, she gave me the cash, and rather than deposit it in my bank, I actually just stuck it in my debt snowball envelope. So that is going to be extra money that goes towards debt anyway, rather than, you know, trying to do extra math. It was just easier that way. So technically you spent even less than that, but regardless, we are under budget. So that is awesome. Next, we go into our bills. So this week I paid Netflix. I budgeted $16 for that. I keep track of my bills using this light blue color. If you guys can hear my son screaming in the background, I apologize. He is very enthusiastically playing video games. That brings him joy, so I'm not going to stop him. Alright, so bills are in blue. I just locate where I paid Netflix, and that actually came out to be $13.99. I forgot when I wrote my budget that I had made some changes to my Netflix account, and we pay a little bit less now, so that's awesome. I did pay that, $13.99, so that is also under budget. Next up, I have Hulu and Disney Plus. When I wrote out my budget, I think I swapped these amounts because I budgeted $7 for Hulu and $6 for Disney Plus, but Disney Plus came out at $7 and Hulu came out at $5.99. So I just swapped these in my brain. I'm not going to write these in red because of, you know, I wrote it down wrong. I had the total amount there, and it covered it, so I'm just going to swap these really quick. That's the beauty of erasable pens. You know, I still stayed within my budget. I just swapped these numbers by mistake. So we just fixed that real quick. Hulu, as I mentioned, came out at $5.99. And Disney Plus came out at exactly $7 as anticipated. So that's perfect. Continuing with bills, I budgeted $212 for DTE, which is our electric company. DTE came out on that Tuesday, and it was exactly $212 as anticipated. Michigan Gas, I budgeted $40. Michigan Gas came out Tuesday as well for $40 as anticipated. Lastly was my camper payment. I budgeted $200 for that, and that's exactly what I paid. So all of my bills were under budget or right on the money, and that's what we like to see. So I budgeted for my bills category a total of $556. Hopefully you guys can see. I know I'm zoomed out pretty far, but I want to be able to have both of my planners in the frame. So hopefully you guys can see here. If not, you'll just have to take my word for it. $556 is what I budgeted for bills. And obviously these aren't just bills. These are also expenses that come out of my checking account. But regardless, $556 is what I budgeted for this category. And I'm going to add up my actuals now and see what I actually spent. So, and again, I apologize for the reflection of my ring light if you guys can see that. So $73.85 plus $13.99 plus $5.99 plus $7 plus $212 plus $40 plus $200 for a total of $552.83. So I was not under budget by a lot, but I was under budget, and that's something to celebrate. So I'm going to take this $556 that we budgeted and subtract the $552.83 that we actually spent. And that means we were $3.17 under budget. That $3.17 is going to go towards an extra debt payment. So it's not a lot, but an extra $3 is going to go towards my lowest debt, which right now is a Lowe's card that I used for buying my washer and dryer back in October. We are really close to paying that off this week, you guys. I think it'll be this week. So be on the lookout for a debt snowball update video coming later this week, provided that this all works out. Next, we have our cash envelopes. So I work with cash envelopes in a lot of our spending categories because it helps keep me on track. Having cash, counting out the cash, seeing what I have left after I've made my purchases and everything, that works out really great for me. Handling the cash triggers something in my brain that keeps me from overspending. I promise you, it works. So the cash envelope categories are my husband's spending money, my spending money, gas, eating out, and miscellaneous. And I keep all of our cash, with the exception of my husband's spending money, here in my conscious wallet in my cash envelopes from Life in Envelopes. So I have an envelope for each of my spending categories. At the beginning of the week, I add the cash right to it. And then just throughout the week, as I'm spending in these categories, I use the cash. Or sometimes I will, actually most of the time these days, I will use my credit card. And then I will take the cash from the envelope and move it to a deposit envelope in the back. And that way I'm still dealing with the cash and it's tangible and I still have to count it out and figure out exactly how much I want to spend. But then I swipe my credit card and I then can get rewards on all of those purchases. Obviously, we're using the debt snowball, so you know that we have debt that we're trying to pay off, but we also have cards that we use responsibly, use and pay off every single week. So that's how I've been handling my cash envelopes. It's been working out great for me. So let's go ahead and track what was spent this week. For my husband's spending, I just hand him his cash at the beginning of the week, and that's the end of it. I don't keep track of what he spends it on. That's kind of the whole point of doing this system. I don't have to check up with him every day and see what he spent and write it all down. I can just hand him his 40 bucks, and when he's out of money, he's done spending. If he has anything left over, he'll just roll it over into the next week. So, $40 as anticipated. My spending, I do keep track of here in my transaction log. Not really because I have to. In most cases, you know, I could just spend the cash, and when the cash was gone, I would stop spending. But it's fun to be able to share with you guys where my spending money went, exactly when I spent it, that sort of thing. So I keep track of my spending using this dark purple sticker because that's my favorite color. I love purple. And as you can see here for my transactions, I had a couple. So I made an Afterpay payment of $16. So that was that. And then I had an Amazon purchase of $16 as well. There was probably change involved there, but you guys, when it comes to change, I just drop it into a jar. Eventually, we'll probably take that jar and exchange it at the bank and make a debt payment with it. A lot of times the kids will dig into the jar to get coins for something, or, you know, if we needed coins for something, we could dig into it. I don't keep really good track of how much is in the jar, and, you know, I'm not super vigilant about that, but I just don't like to deal with change in my wallet all the time. So we typically just round everything up. So that was that. And that was all of my purchases for the week for a total of $32. So I budgeted $40. I spent $32. That means there should be $8 left in my cash envelope. Let's find out. So I just go into my spending envelope here, and I have $5, $6, $7, $8 as anticipated. So I'm just going to set this off to the side for now. But that's awesome that I came in under budget. Now, I could take that $8 and roll it over into next week like my husband does. I would rather see a little bit more progress towards my debt. So I'm gonna let that go to my debt snowball, provided that I have not gone over budget in any of these other categories, in which case I will use this cash to cover those overages. Spoiler alert, I did go a little bit over in a category, and I bet you guys can guess which one, because it's the same one that I'm always over budget in. If I'm over budget in a category, it's usually that one, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Next, I have gas. I budget $40 a week for gas. Gas is tracked in this light purple color. We had just one gasoline transaction this week, and that was $28. My husband filled up our gas tank on Sunday on his way out of the woods when he was hunting, so $28. Since I budgeted $40, oops, we only spent $28, that means there should be $12 left in my envelope. So again, we'll just flip to that envelope. My wallet is a mess, I need to clean it out. And there is, yep, $10, $11, $12 remaining in that category as well. So that's gonna go off to the side with the other. Moving on to eating out. If you guessed that I went over budget in eating out, you would be right. So we're gonna have to pull in that red pen, which is sad, but my eating out transactions get tracked in yellow, as you can see from my key here, eating out. So we did $38.03 at Taco Bell this week, and that was so good. And if we had stopped there, that would have been perfect. We would have stayed under budget, but we didn't. We went to Tim Hortons, or my husband did, on his way out of the woods, same time he got the gas. Actually, no, the Tim Hortons was purchased on Saturday, but I just had run out of room for stickers on Saturday, so I stuck it on Sunday. Sometimes I do that. I don't usually get too caught up in exactly what day. It's just a matter of whether or not it fell within the week. Hopefully that makes sense. So we spent a total of $41.98. So that is over budget. I'm gonna round it up because, like I said, I don't deal in change. So we spent $42 in eating out, which means I need to take $2 of these dollars from my stack to cover that overage, because I only had $40 in my eating out envelope. That $40, as you can see, is gone, and the rest went on a credit card. So I gotta take this $2 out of this stack to make up the difference. And you know what? We'll do that at the end. Let's not confuse me. Sometimes I confuse myself if I get too far ahead of myself. Let's just finish calculating the rest of our cash envelopes. So for miscellaneous, I budgeted $40. Miscellaneous gets tracked in this bright green. And we had quite a few miscellaneous transactions this week. So we had $7 at Dollar Tree this week. And we also had a $7.99 Amazon purchase. And my husband spent $9.53 at Harbor Freight. For a total of $24.52, again, we round up, we spent 25 of our miscellaneous dollars. So if we budgeted 40, we spent 25, that means there should be $15 remaining in the envelope, which is awesome that is the case. $10, $15 to go to my stack. So let's go ahead and add this up. I budgeted a total of $200, as you can see here, and we actually spent 40 plus 32 plus 28 plus 42 plus 25, $167. 200 minus 167 means that we will have $33 left over to go to our debt snowball, which is so exciting. So I am going to go ahead and take those $2 now to cover that overage in my eating out category, and I'm going to stick these $2 into my deposit envelope to be deposited back into the bank to cover that overage. So there's some other cash in there that I needed to deposit as well. And let's count this up then and make sure that we have the $33 we're supposed to have. 10, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. So that $33 then is going to go into our debt snowball envelope, where I've been collecting any money that we've had left over from our cash envelopes for the last few weeks. So there's already some money in there. We're going to add some more in there, and we're going to count this up in my debt snowball update, and we'll use this to make an extra payment towards our debt. So that's exciting. Be on the lookout, like I said, for that video. Should be coming up this week, provided that you know, my math is accurate in my head and we're actually on track to pay that card. I'm so excited. Okay. The rest of this always goes super easy because it's always as planned. So we're done looking at transactions here. The only transactions that we didn't go over were transactions in orange, which if you look here, orange is money from sinking funds. So that's money that I have pulled from my budget every week throughout the year to be used for these things. So we'll go over them really quick. Why not? My son pulled out $256 from his envelope. That's separate from our budget. But I like to keep track of it. Just, you know, he's still a kid. He's not quite 18. He needs a little help with his budgeting sometimes. So I still keep track of his money for him. He keeps track of it as well, but I kind of double check his math and that sort of thing. So this is neither here nor there, but it's included here to help me keep track of it. We pulled out $50 from our Christmas budget. We pulled out $250 from our car maintenance. My husband's paperwork came in to renew our car tabs. His birthday's at the end of January, but we already had the money set aside. And the paperwork was here, so we went ahead and renewed them a little bit early. No problem there. And that's taken care of. One less thing to worry about in January. So we went ahead and pulled that money out to cover that. Also, our property tax bill came in. We pay property tax on our shed. Here, we live in a mobile home community. So, our mobile home technically, I think, in our state is considered a vehicle. I don't really know how it works. We don't pay property tax on our home, on our actual physical house, but we pay property tax on our shed because the shed sits directly on the land. I don't really know how it works. I just know that we get a bill in winter and summer to pay property taxes on our shed, and our winter taxes for our shed were $40 or just under $40. So we pulled out $40 to cover that and made that payment. And then we pulled another $190 out of our Christmas budget. We are wrapping up our Christmas shopping. We are almost done. So that is all of the money that came out of our various accounts and funds this week. So we can put this away now. This is taken care of. And we can go ahead and concentrate on the right side of my planner. And now I can zoom you guys in a little bit. So this is always as budgeted. We put $25 into our anniversary fund. We put $50 into birthdays. We did put $50 into campground, $25 into car maintenance, and $50 into home maintenance. You would have seen that if you watched my cash envelope stuffing video last week. If you missed that, make sure you check that out. But that was all as anticipated. In terms of our debt snowball, I mentioned we are working on a Lowe's credit card That is the card that currently has the lowest balance of our credit cards that carry balances. So we've been putting all of our extra money towards it. And so I did make this $150 payment at the start of the week. As soon as we are done filming this, I will pay this extra $3.17, which again is not a lot extra, but that added to the $150 means that we will have sent a total of $153.17 to debt this week, which is exciting. So I wrote it in gold. Somebody recommended that I use gold for this week, so that's what I did, because this $153 is technically over budget because I only budgeted $150. But you guys, it's not a bad thing to pay extra to debt, so I'm not going to write that in red, but just writing it in black seems boring, so we wrote it in gold this week. Leave me a comment down below, tell me what color I should write in my extra debt total next week, provided that I'm able to pay more than what I anticipated. This could be a fun game. Okay, so that $317, as you know, came from the bills section. We were under budget in that category, so anything that I had left over, I send right to the debt. It's already in my bank account. It doesn't really make sense to pull it out of my bank account to put it into my debt snowball envelope to then turn around and deposit it back into the bank to make that payment. So anything that I have left over in my bills category, I always just immediately send. The rest gets stuck in that debt snowball envelope, and I pay that all at once when I do my debt snowball updates, just because it's fun to do it that way. So this $33 we talked about earlier is in that envelope. It will get paid to my debt, but not right this second, just as soon as I film that snowball update. So I wrote a little note to myself there at the bottom that money went to the debt snowball envelope, and that takes care of my budget results for the week. So really, really good. Just a tiny little bit of red here at the bottom, but still under budget overall. Lots of extra money to my debt snowball, which is always a good thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please take a minute and click the thumbs up button. That really, really helps me out. Leave me a comment down below if you'd like. I always love reading your comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys!